because of some of the narrative and some of the stuff that you say about law enforcement. They view you guys as adversarial.
Okay, wait.
Well, listen, you guys shoot people that are unarmed. I view you as adversarial. Okay, so I mean, who's the guy misappropriating the use of a handgun? It's not me. I'm a guy with a camera. If you think that a guy with a camera is a threat to you, you got bigger problems, man. Seriously.
Okay.
So as we usually do, we checked online to find the exact location of tonight's DUI checkpoint. It happened to be in the city of Pacoima, which is in the San Fernando Valley, but when we arrived to the exact intersection, we couldn't find it. You can hear my asking both Denise and Belle, one to look left, one to look right, when we pass through the intersection. The advance notice of checkpoints comes from the Ingersoll v. Palmer case, which was from 1987, which came a reasonableness standard under the Fourth Amendment and the California Constitution. Subdivision H requires advanced publicity, which both reduces the intrusiveness of the stop and increases the deterrent effect of the roadblock. I wound up calling Foothill Division of LAPD, which is the jurisdiction of Pacoima. They refused to give me the new location. Listen for yourself. Okay, I'm going to look left.
We're going to
You
look
ladies
right.
look right.
Okay. We're going to look right.
I'll look to the right.
There's supposed to be a DUI checkpoint right here.
Wah,
But
wah.
there's no guarantee.
It's invisible.
It's an invisible checkpoint.
Here's a cop coming right at us right now.
I thought we were passing it, but it was just lights from a taco stand.
Yeah, Johnny was like, "Is this it?" And I was like, "No, it's just tacos." I can't tell. There's
I don't
something.
see
I don't
there.
see anything.
This is.
What the hell? Let me make sure I got the address right. Lopez says go left. Fuck you, Lopez.
The following options before making a selection.
How about just zero? Let me talk
Can I
to
get-
somebody.
Can you connect me with officer directives, please? I like to be told what to do.
LAPD Foothill Front Desk, how may I help you?
Hi, yeah. I heard that there is a DUI checkpoint in Pacoima tonight at Van Nuys and Glen Oaks, but I don't see it. Could you tell me where it is, please?
I'm not aware of any DUI checkpoint in Pacoima.
Oh, it's listed on the thing tonight. Okay. Well, thank you.
Are there any within Foothill Division tonight?
I can check, let me ask.
Thank you.
Please.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but if we did, we can't disclose that.
It's public information, dude. It's part of the Ingersoll court hearing, the court ruling. What's your name and your serial number? What is your name and your serial number? Seriously.
Okay, my name is Park,
Okay, what's your serial number?
44069.
Okay, can I talk to the watch commander, please? Just press the button. Press the button. Don't think about it. Please.
Did you hear that?
Fireworks.
I just watched him to the right.
We can't disclose that.
You're obligated to disclose it to the public.
Unbelievable.
He just hung up on me.
Oh my God.
He just hung up on
Oh
me.
my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here goes my blood pressure.
What was his name? Park? 818-756-8861. They do not believe they have to disclose where DUI checkpoints are in Foothill Division.
So here's the motorcycle cops here for making sure if anybody turns off.
I'll talk to you about it later. Hold on.
Wow, that's a great parking job. Whatever happened to officer safety? He doesn't even have his hazard lights on. I'd get a ticket for that.
You can get told for that.
Yeah. No, but he's above the law. Sovereign citizen.
We pay for that toll too.
they're yelling my name in there too. They're saying my name inside the trailer.
Who the hell are you? You know. You all know exactly who I am. Say my name. That's right. Now, say my name.
Johnny 5-0.
You're goddamn right.
Oh, Johnny 5-0. Johnny 5-0. Don Larson Jr., I'm already on my second strike.
You have a good night, sir. Take care.
Hey, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Is the location of the checkpoint, is that public information?
It is.
Okay, so when I called Foothill Division, so there's the website, the DUI checkpoint, or one of these, it had you guys up at a different location.
Correct.
I called Foothill Division. I asked them if they could clarify where the DUI checkpoint was. They said they were not able to disclose that information to me. Were they erroneous?
I don't know. I don't know exactly how that conversation went, so I can't comment on that.
Well, they said they know where it is and they're not going to tell me.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the nature of that conversation was. It is public knowledge. It gets posted usually a day in advance. However, I will tell you this, we can move it
Right.
if we need to for safety reasons or because of logistic reasons. And when my setup guys went down there,
Okay.
they said it was a bad location because it was going to disrupt some businesses and
Okay.
there wouldn't be adequate space for us to safely operate it.
Okay. So, but it is public information. So if somebody calls Foothill Division, in the future, would I need to call Traffic Division or would I call the local whatever division, whether it's Foothill, Van Nuys,
You
Mission?
can call the traffic division. I can give you the, you have the number. To
Yeah, I got the number for the, but Foothill Division should know because we're in Foothill Division, yes? Or
They should, but I don't know who's working the desk and I don't know.
so it would be a better call if I called traffic directly?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Sure.
Your name, please.
My name is Sergeant Brunson, BRUNSON. Serial number is 32828.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Thanks for being professional. Appreciate it. See, and it's not that difficult to be a professional cop, you guys. It's not that difficult to answer questions and give some information. So, yeah. So, these jerk-offs said to Denise that she's got nothing better to do on a Saturday night than to come and film police. I don't think there's anything better of a civic duty that one could do, but dedicate and sacrifice your Saturday night filming police. Dr. Maeda, exactly. They publish locations in the paper and on the radio, then they move them to completely different areas, to a completely different location. It defeats the purpose of the notice. Isn't that interesting? Almost like a bait and switch. Let's take a quick peek at the original location for the checkpoint for tonight. Well, seeing is believing. This is the original location, Van Nuys Boulevard in Glen Oaks. You can see the huge strip mall there at the southwest, currently part of the intersection. Interestingly enough, coincidentally enough, there was a fairly severe traffic collision that we left the checkpoint for at this exact location on that same night. Why on earth would anybody pick this location thinking we're not going to disrupt businesses, it's not going to be too busy? It sounds like an absolute bait and switch. You can refuse the tests. You actually should refuse the tests. Anything they say can and will be used, I mean, you know, this is all evidence that's going to be used against you. No, go support Denise too, you guys.
You don't scare me. Shit, I was married to one just like you. You don't scare me shit at all.
So look at the stare down. This is This is the children. This is the children that we employ. He's staring down Denise.
Because I'm a 5 foot 500-pound.
Yep, look at that. These are the children that we employ. Look at this. Get his name and serial number.
Your last name, please. Serial number. You are entitled to give me that. And you know that. Name and serial number.
Wow.
Supervisor, please. Supervisor, please. Officer, I'm right in front of you. Officer! Officer! Holy cow! Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Is there one officer here that will give me a name and serial number? Or are you all ashamed of your actions? Each and every one of you should be. Okay, I requested a supervisor. Now I'm demanding a supervisor now.
Hey, can we get a supervisor here? Yeah, great.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Names and serial numbers.
And just like all the rest of the children, he just can't go and do what he was asked to do. He's got to give Denise lip and mansplain and other bull. Just go get a supervisor. Go get a supervisor. Go get a supervisor, dude. Officer, you going to disgrace your badge as well, sir? You in the front?
How are you?
So if you haven't figured it out already, the children are creating a tactic to get Denise riled up enough to be able to arrest her for PC 415 or disorderly conduct.
All right, and we are 6 feet away. We don't get close.
Thank you very much.
So
I
what's going on?
appreciate that. I'm asking why I'm being refused names and serial numbers of an officer who is acting like a complete.
Okay, let's go into the acting.
Oh,
part.
no.
Listen, aren't you required to give a name and badge number if a citizen asks you to?
If it is some type of enforcement contact or stop, yes.
Okay, and when I'm asking a question, don't you think that it would? All right, listen. Not just. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit upset right now because I was treated terribly. Okay, I was treated terribly. I helped pay. I'm a taxpayer, correct? I do. My money does go into 4 years' salary. I know it's a small portion, but I do know that that's pretty good. When I ask somebody what their name is, not even just what your policy is. Isn't it just like a normal, decent human being to give somebody your name?
If you're asking me my opinion, Shelby,
Yes.
I think so. I gave you my name and
I
serial
know, and
number.
I
Right.
appreciate that. But why is this not being done just for, so that we have some nice, when we come up
Well,
here, right? Thank you, Johnny.
Why did these guys need to act like children? When somebody, you were very cordial with me, you were very professional with me, I have no issue with you. This guy got into a staring contest with her and was mad dogging her like a 4-year-old. She asked his name and serial number. They literally got into a staring contest. That doesn't really seem like very professional behavior. She asked his name and serial number. He refused to answer. She asked the first guy in the front for his name and serial number. He refused to answer. So we're calling for a supervisor. They refused to call for a supervisor. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They did not, officer. It's all on video. They didn't do anything. It was absolute dereliction of duty on their behalf. We had to pull one of the two-stripe corporal, there's training guy over here. Those 2 cops all of a sudden became deaf mutes. So, is it not the policy to identify with name and serial number when you're asked? Yes or no?
I would say on a traffic stop or any type of...
No. Listen. Can you give me a straight answer? If I ask that guy for a name and serial number, do you think it would be, is it that difficult for him to give a name and serial. I asked you for it. You gave it to me, no problem. And as a result, we didn't have a problem because you were professional.
Here's the thing, okay? And I'm not trying to be adversarial. However, on an anti-law enforcement screaming blog, given the nature of some of your commentary.
Anti-law enforcement screaming blog?
Screaming blog.
Excuse me. Okay,
Streaming.
I was the one that he wouldn't give a name to. I have never screamed.
No,
Stream.
Live streaming.
Okay.
Because of some of the narrative and some of the stuff that you say about law enforcement, they view you guys as adversarial.
Okay, wait. If I
Well,
walk
listen,
into
you
your-
guys shoot people that are unarmed. I view you as adversarial, okay? So, I mean, who's the guy misappropriating the use of a handgun? It's not me. I'm a guy with a camera. If you think that a guy with a camera is a threat to you, you got bigger f***ing problems, man. Seriously.
Okay, first of all, why are you directing profanity at me? I'm trying to have a professional conversation with you.
So here's the part where they try to spin me as the unprofessional guy for using profanity when we just spent 15 minutes trying to get his officers to ID themselves. You know, the absolute basics of policing. Right, if they don't like you, they don't have to perform a service.
I'm asking why you're being
This is-
adversarial to me. I'm trying to answer your questions and help you out.
You-
I can only speak to what is going on here right now and what I've done on my career. I can't comment on what...
Since you are trying, since you are, since you are the person that's supposed to be helping all these people, can you tell them that what they should be doing is giving their name and serial number to people when they ask? I mean, just as a human decency.
I concur. I am always one that...
So
I'm nice to everybody. I don't... You know,
But I'm not, okay, but you
here we go. To deflect blame, he makes it all about himself, saying, "Oh, I'm a nice guy. I like everybody." But what a... Oh, my gosh.
right here are ranking. Okay, here's a rank on here. You can't tell me that you can't tell them to act a little bit more decent?
I didn't see how they were acting.
Oh,
Here we go. One more time. Oh, I didn't see anything happen. Same thing when the guy grabbed Denise's camera and spit on me. Well, we didn't see it, so, I mean, you know, classic BS law enforcement. This is how they dodge responsibility and accountability all the time. Oh, my God.
So I was not out here when that was going on.
Oh, my God.
So because we hold
That's all I'm
cops
saying. I was not here.
accountable,
I
we're
can't comment on something
anti-police.
that I wasn't
Yeah.
okay, but you
Yeah.
did
Holding
not-
cops accountable means I'm anti-cop. Yep, that's right. Anti-police rhetoric. You heard it from the sergeant himself.
No, and I'm not saying you are.
The
I'm
only
just saying
people
some of
who
the
don't
comments
like
that
what
made
you're
on
doing
live
are
streaming-
cops that are doing the wrong thing.
Right, it's
One
only-
is holding a camera.
Yeah, it's only the bad cops.
City on it.
I'm not trying to start
I'm not,
anything.
listen, I'm not treating you like you're Jason Van Dyke. Don't treat me like I'm some piece of shit on your own either.
I'm
sorry.
not.
I'm not saying you are, but that's exactly how I felt just now, and that is not right. That is not right at all. You know, I mean, I'm sorry. This is not this. I'm not used to the different actions of these officers. I mean, I thought LAPD was actually a little more professional than the sheriff's. I've been reporting both since I've been here.
You gotta understand, these are very different, challenging times that we're in. And
Oh,
we're
my
not-
God.
We're not used to having cameras in our face the entire time, so people react differently to different things.
But you have to understand also that you guys have had bad advantage on us for how long?
People have been filming the police for 20 years, sir. People have been filming the police for 20 years, sir. You think this is something new?
And we've had to do what we've had to do. So now maybe the tables are turned a little bit, but we're not asking you to do anything that's above or anything that's not in your contract.
Have I personally ever given either one of you a hard time out here?
No. And have we given you a hard time in return? Okay. Again, he's dodging responsibility here. These men work under him. He is the supervisor. If they are doing poorly, it reflects upon him. It is his leadership or lack thereof. This is gaslighting and mind-numbing. Isn't that an amazing equation? That if you act like a human being, everybody gets to treat each other like a human being,
That's all
right?
That's all I'm asking.
So when you ask somebody a question
Why
that's...
don't you go tell your guys that if they act right, they won't look bad on the camera, and then you won't have to call us anti-police. Yeah,
wow, isn't that amazing? Because they look like So now we're anti-police because your guys look like your guys look like on camera. So now we're the cause of that, not the officer who wouldn't identify. We're the problem because we documented it.
That's my problem. Like, listen, I think we should call.
This is unbelievable.
Call the police for
Stop
So-
talking to this guy. He's going to back up his cops. He's not going to tell you the right thing. The ID, the manual says you ID to a citizen. They ask you. He knows that. Just leave him alone.
Yeah, the ID policy is from the manual. He's talking about the feelings police. So he's going to override the manual of IDing, and because somebody's mangina got injured here, so.
I'm not overriding the manual. I don't have the manual memorized.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I think I'm having a brain aneurysm. Can you call medical, please? Holy.
See, we're having a conversation though, and I'm trying to talk to you.
You don't know that you don't know about identifying is in the policy or not? Are you serious? You're a sergeant and you don't know that identifying with name and serial number is in the.
Yeah, following a traffic stop and a call for service, absolutely. During any type of enforcement or contact in the field, yes. When somebody's yelling at you while you're performing your duties in a checkpoint, I'm not 100% sure what it says on that.
God.
Would I have
Yelling?
identified myself? Yes, I would have.
Yelling?
Yes.
This guy's he is useless. Listen, he's going to back up his bad cops, which makes him a bad cop.
I understand. Other
A
than revenue.
supervisor in any normal job, they're there to correct bad behavior. This guy is to stand behind his guys, no matter what to you. He does not care about you. It's fine. Let's go.
And all of this for 200 grand a year, guys.
Seeing is believing. There are so many people in the comments that call BS on the salaries of California police officers and firemen. I'm here to let you know that Transparent California, which was based on a California Supreme Court case, is accurate information, and it is the dirty little secret that police and fire don't want to disclose of exactly how much they're costing us.
Oh, how if he cheated on the sergeant's exam or what? But I mean,
That doesn't promote a healthy relationship.
yeah, either does not identifying when somebody asks for a name and a serial number. When I asked it to you, it was a non-issue, and we were cool, right? We were cool.
We were, but now you're insulting me. You're using profanity towards me. I mean, you're demanding all this professional treatment, although I'm not getting it back on my end.
You're not. Oh my God.
More gaslighting, you guys. 100% gaslighting. Johnny, you're the problem, not me and my bad cops.
I'm not.
Oh my God.
Insulting us by telling us that your cops don't have to act a certain way to us because we're anti-law enforcement.
Right, we're anti-law enforcement, so you guys don't have to comply.
You guys are more than welcome to continue filming here.
My God.
Be familiar with 148 of the California Penal Code, because if you interfere in any way,
Oh my
you'll be
God.
accountable for that.
Yeah, well, why don't you look at subdivision G while you're at it on 148, okay?
All right, here is California Penal Code 148, subdivision A1, which is what he's referencing. Every person who willfully resists, delays, or obstructs any public officer, peace officer, or an emergency medical technician as defined in Division 2.5 of the Health and Safety Code in the discharge or attempt to discharge any duty of his or her office or employment when no other punishment is prescribed shall be punished by a fine not exceeding $1,000 or by imprisonment in a county jail not to exceed 1 year or by both that fine and imprisonment. The biggest thing that he is forgetting is California PC 148 subdivision G. The fact that a person takes a photograph or makes an audio or video recording of a public officer or peace officer while the officer is in a public space, or the person taking the photograph or making the recording is in a public place he or she has the right to be, does not constitute in and of itself a violation of subdivision A. Nor does it constitute reasonable suspicion to detain the person or probable cause to arrest the person. More mind-numbing directives from cops who insist on exerting their will.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with 148 subdivision G?
148 A1, yes.
What? Okay, what's
Delaying,
140?
obstructing, and interfering with an officer's performance
Okay.
duties.
What-
I'm just telling you.
What does 148 subdivision G say?
I don't know. I don't have the penal code memorized.
Okay, well, you might want to look that one up.
I will. You can film in a public place. I'm sure that's addressing that issue, as long as you don't interfere or obstruct. That's all.
My God.
That's all.
So these are the children that we employ. So this is this
Thanks
was.
for the threat on your way out. We know who you are.
Wow. Wow. This is amazing. Utterly amazing.
Oh, I got you. All right.
They've always got to.
My heart. That's Officer Harris. That's Officer Gulley. That's Sergeant Williams. That's Officer
See, he's going to go to interference, but a guy can come into a DUI checkpoint and threaten to kill police, right? That's not interfering the scene, right?
What? In California, you gon' die every time you gon' die. You gon' truly die. You Hawkins and wetback in California. I've been here 45 years.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the difference between a man-child and an actual man. I remember having a resentment against my father, okay? And long story, but he paid for, the youngest of 6 kids, he paid for everybody's education. And the deal was that you would pay him back half when you got out and on your feet. Fair enough. But he started with me, and then he backed out of the deal.
You didn't clean that accident up real well.
So
Police are following us, Jen.
I was pissed at my father for well over a decade of not giving me the same opportunity as he did the other 5 siblings. However, so I carried that around for over a decade. Not very healthy, not a very good thing to be holding resentment. When I actually got to take a look at the behaviors that I perpetrated that actually caused my father to pull the plug on my education, I got to see my part in this of racing. I mean, I wrecked my dad's car. He had a Lincoln Mark 7. I was racing his car, totaled his car. I would quit a job before getting another job. I lived at home. You know, there were a host of things that I did and fucked up on that I never looked at. And when I looked at them, it made perfect sense of why my dad did exactly what he did. But it's not until I looked at my own behavior that I got to see, that I got to become free of why my dad was acting that way. The same thing applies to police. All they do is sit here and go, you guys run an anti-cop streaming vlog. I had no problem with that first supervisor that we were talking to at the end. No problem whatsoever, and we were cordial AF. However, it didn't. The LAPD or police in general have the utter inability to see their part in any of this. And that is the most immature, childish view, because that's the only way that I can describe it, as immature and childish. And you're not manning up and taking a look at your own part in the equation. And they refuse, and they are children. So I hope you never have to call the cops. So if I work for the Board of Health and I come in and I do inspections on restaurants, fast food, sit down, fine dining, the whole gamut, and I come in and I give somebody a D rating, and I'm like, there's cockroaches in the back, you guys need to clean this up. Does the restaurant owner go, I hope you never have to go out and eat ever again? No, that's your job, man. Holding a restaurant accountable to a certain health code that society has deemed acceptable, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, that automatically negates somebody from ever using the services of a restaurant. So I can't go through and get my bratty kid a freaking Happy Meal so he has a toy to choke on later. I mean, listen, the whole resentment that I told you guys about with my father and all of that, the only reason that I was willing to take a look at my part was because my life depended upon it, and that I don't have the luxury of carrying around this resentment that I've had for a decade or 2 decades. It's eating me up inside. You know, the classic line is, a resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. The resentment only affects me. It doesn't affect the other person. My dad was sleeping fine at night, and I'm like, that guy, you know what I mean? And you know what? At the end of the day, were my parents perfect parents? No parent is. And my parents did the best they could with what they had. They were born in 1925. There was a double generation gap. My parents were in their 40s when I was born. And you know what? You know what the coolest thing is? Despite all of the headbutting that I did with my father, I made sure that we cleared that all up, man. Man to man, eye to eye. And as a result, and I got to, show up and go back to my parents' house sometimes and sit and watch the Yankee games and stuff like that in October with my dad, and do a little bit of late life bonding with my dad. And when I got the call from my sister that dad's on hospice and they're giving him morphine and you better get on a plane right now, and I showed up and I flew out to Newark Airport, red eye. I took an Uber from Newark Airport up to Mahwah, New Jersey. And as I rolled up into the driveway, my sister said, "Dad just passed 15 minutes ago. You missed it." And she didn't mean it and you know what? I had no unresolved business with my father. The lake was glass. There were no ripples in the lake left. The lake was glass, and we were cool. And that's the gift of my being sober for almost 24 years. That's the gift of being a man and manning up and doing the uncomfortable thing of having those conversations with my father. And evening the playing field and just being cool. And having no further ill will towards him or for him towards me. And that's what men do. And that's nothing that I came up with. That's what men that I admire, that's what real men do. And it's not what I wanted to do, because it's not easy, and it was painful, and it was an emotional roller coaster. And you know what? I had no unfinished business with my father. I wasn't on the plane going, God, I gotta go tell my dad I love him for the first time. I didn't hear I love you from my parents until I was in my 30s, until I got sober. I never heard that. It just wasn't said in our house. And every time that I talked to my dad on the phone or saw him in person and I said, "Bye, Dad, I love you," it started off with he would say nothing. Then it started off, I said, "Dad, I love you," and he would say, "Me too." Then it started, this is over a decade I'm talking time frame. And then it went from Dad, I love you to I love you too. And then at the end, my dad said it first. And it's a story of redemption, both his life and my life. And that's what real men do. And that's what happens. That is the result when real men take a look at their shortcomings and their pitfalls in their character. And that is something that none of these fucks that walk around with a fucking badge will ever have the honor and privilege of ever feeling in their life. And I feel sorry for them, because I am a much richer man as a result of the work that I've done on myself. These guys, fucking children. All right. That was. I love you guys. And I feel sorry for these cops that they're never going to get to experience what I experienced. And you know what? My dad was a lawyer. I grew up my whole life with my dad being like I was a fuck up and I was this and I was that. I became a photographer and it didn't go over really well, and always living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm going to talk to just the guys here. I know there's mostly men in this chat, and the ladies just bear with me here. As a man, all I ever wanted my dad to say to me, and I never knew this until I knew this from men that did this work before me, was all I ever wanted my dad to say was, "Hey kid, good job." It's all I ever wanted to hear from my father. And I got that. And so much more. From a guy who had nothing but collision with his dad growing up and into my adulthood. And these guys, this is some advanced level. These guys are children, man. They're not real men. And I didn't come up with this stuff. This was done by men and women before me, of what it's like to be a person of fucking character. And they know nothing about fucking character.